Hey guys, good morning. This is Viper from the Beasts of Calgary. We're basically starting off my war hits here. The video you're watching is actually a video that I thought I had my microphone on. Clearly, I did not. So this is actually a dub, so to speak, where I'm actually talking over the video. It's been added in, so I do apologize. This is kind of going to suck just a little because while I'm going to tell you what I was thinking at the time of each of the moves, it's always a lot better when it's actually happening. So right off the bat, to start off, the team that we're facing right now is using yellow and purple tanks with the opposite flanks. So, for example, in this case, we've got Cutchin with Arguin and June, while other teams have, let's say Gwyn with two purples on the sides flanking. Right off the bat here, I've decided to go with a purple and yellow team. I always bring in somebody like Cutchin. I have 3 Cutchins, one's maxed. Now what I just did there was I swapped out my maxed Hell for my 370 Hell to save my maxed Hell for later. And that way, power-wise, yeah, I started off a little bit low, but ended up not too far from where I needed to go. So anyways, right off the bat, we had a pretty decent board. Went ahead, got my gem right off the bat, put some damage down on Cutchin, and then here I went and attacked. I decided to go for coverage on both the flank and the center tank, and then I decided to take out Cutchin because I knew that I had my yellow up the middle to help with Cutchin. On Gwyn, and then had my yellow for Cutchin. All right, I'll let this kind of catch up a little bit here. So the clear move here would be to power up my purple again. At this point, the game's in good control, or I've got good control of the set. I could move use my gem and set that up, but that wouldn't make as much sense. I want to try to bring in more yellow if possible, so hence I made the purple set by moving the blue. Now, once again, I'm looking at a way to try to bring in more yellow or purple. And in looking at that last play, I knew that I was going to be able to bring up that purple to make a set as opposed to using the purple dragon and also hitting the diamond at the same time. I want to try to bring in more yellow if possible here. So now I'm going to go ahead and attack the Liana and June side. So you notice that there's lots of pausing. That's because I thought I was recording myself as I was doing this. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and freeze up that one side. And then I believe I went ahead and... I don't know if I hit the red first and then the yellow. No, it went straight for the yellow. I probably should have went for the red first, brought in more yellow, hoped for more yellow, and then done that. But nonetheless, this game was pretty much in hand at this point. Now that move there, I wish I could rewind this, but I can't. The whole idea there was by hitting the blue, I knew it was going to also set off my red, clean everything up, and start with a pretty decent board. All right, here we go. I'm looking at it. So that was their most powerful team in terms of point value. I usually go for their top players because I have a relatively deep bench. Not crazy deep, but deep enough. Now, Markham is their next highest, also worth 57 points. And then there was that guy there, also at 57. And then everybody else is 56 and less, I believe, point value. Once again, all purple and yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in another Cutchin defensive and Hell team to kind of... use some mana control. Now, all my teams that I make, I always go 3-2. So 3 of one color, 2 of another. It's just a strategy that I prefer. Now, as I was doing this, I realized I had White Rabbit and Cutchin. This is not really useful for the simple fact that White Rabbit and Cutchin will overwrite each other with their defense downs. So what I ended up doing is I do end up realizing this, is I end up taking, I believe, White Rabbit out, and I end up putting in, I don't know who I end up putting in. I guess we're about to find out. Now, it's important that you know what your heroes can do, because you definitely don't want to put yourself in a situation where you are not maximizing your abilities of your heroes. And you also want to know what you're bringing into your wars. A lot of people like bringing, an attack up, a defense down, and then some kind of buff remover of sorts. I'm not sure why I hit Guardian there. I think it was just an error as I was swiping through. But here we go. I think in the end I did decide to go with an RA instead. And then Drake. Now, when we look at this, my team's powered at almost 4, and they're almost powered at 4-4. So I always go in under what the other team is. I never, ever go over. This is a pretty big gap, though. We're talking almost 400 points difference. But once again, I'm confident in the team that I've got. Let's see what happens. So right off the bat, I have a decent board. Now, I don't remember what my first move was. I think my first move was probably the wrong move. Let's see here what I ended up doing. No, that's the move I would have done. Even now, I would have done the same move. I think here what I ended up doing was I was trying to bring in more yellow and purples. So yeah, now in hindsight, what I should have done was gone ahead, moved my purple, could have made a red star out of that. But at the same time, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. Not sure which move would have been the better move. Over here, there was also that green star move, but I probably could have made that red star earlier, and then who knows what would have happened. It would have changed, obviously, this whole board. Now, overall, I'm not in bad shape. I do see that Viv's about to go off, and everybody's already maxed healed anyways. So we're going to go ahead and just send that in anyways. And then I end up getting lucky with that little combo. I end up taking her out unexpectedly. Now, I did have a situation where my wife FaceTimed me, so that actually dropped my video. So here I am kind of coming back in after that. Now, I chose to go ahead and hit Kaeg there just for the simple fact that I knew I had a purple on Quintus's side, and then obviously that ended up comboing up into a lucky yellow. But either way, that was pretty much done at that point. Now, in terms of the war, we were already in pretty good shape. The other team had used a lot more flags than us, and we knew we were going to make a good run here at the very end of this war. So I'm looking at the different teams, trying to figure out which team I'm going to go for next. So far, I've attacked 2 of their highest, and now we're going to go for their third one, I believe. Let's see here what I ended up doing. Oh, there's another 56 here. Now, at this point, I am kind of starting to get low on my purples and yellows, because I did do 2 teams of basically purple and yellow. So that's already 10 of my team. Now, I do still have some purples left, but not many. So here we go. I'm going to start looking at my team. I do end up deciding to go, I believe, green and purple. with an Evelyn and a Kingston to start off the team, because I need to start using my other colors. So let's see here what I ended up doing. I wish I can fast forward this, but there's no way for me to do that. Really looking here what else I'm going to bring. I decided to not bring in Cutchin and instead to bring in Mother North. Hindsight, probably the wrong move here. Also, what I didn't end up doing in my first two flags, or with my first two flags, and now in this flag, I totally forget to look at my troops and where my troops are. And that really is a major, major issue. Now, I did end up deciding to go white here, which is the reason why I didn't go Cutchin. So I remember why I went Mother North instead of Cutchin. So my thought here was I have Evelyn with green down, and then by bringing in Mother North, she gives me my health and my revive, which, by the way, didn't end up going off during this. And then my white brings in my death down, which is the same thing as what Cutchin would have brought. So that's the reason why I went this route. Not to mention the two green flanks, or the two purple flanks. Right off the bat, looks like I've got a pretty good board. Now, the issue was when I was looking at this, and what I'm talking about here when I clicked that, was the fact that if I move the yellow above it and the green, I could make those two sets right off the bat. But by doing so, I have a bunch of other yellows around, and they're not able to be used in any way, shape, or form to make another set. So what I actually ended up doing here was quite, I thought was the right move. And once again, hindsight, I don't know if it was the right move. I don't remember if I ended up winning this war. I want to say I didn't, or this battle. But I end up making the move so that way I could set myself up to still get my green and end up having two sets of yellow. So this yellow comes up. Now I'm going to make this set of green above, which then sets up my next set of yellow with a chance of bringing up a yellow along that side, which didn't end up happening, but it was a chance I was willing to take. So once again, when you get a board, don't just attack it, think, play smart, which is what I was trying to do there. And I think I did play smart. I think it was absolutely the right move. It just didn't work out 100%, but I did power up my yellow a little bit more than I would have otherwise. Now, what I should have done here was I should have actually hit the red gem, which I didn't do. Once again, hindsight, comes back and bites you in the backside. So this is where I start getting in trouble. And I kind of know it just based off what I'm looking at here. Probably should have went after Obicon, taken the hit, taken him out. But I decided to go off of the side here and then try to actually power myself up along that same side. So let's watch what I end up doing. Once again, my whole idea here is to work off the one side. And actually, I think I maybe did end up, I don't remember if I ended up winning this or not. Yeah, so I didn't end up winning this one here, if I recall. But once again, I tried my best to give myself that chance here along that side. Now, if I recall, I moved the red and then the purple and the blue. No, I didn't, because this made that set. And I was definitely trying to make green. That was one of my biggest goals there, was to make green so that way I can try to set up Evelyn and then Kingston, and I just couldn't do it. And by this point, they basically had wiped me all out. Defeat. But you can see there where I was going with that, and I definitely had the opportunity if I could have just gotten off my Evelyn. Hey, so that's my first loss. Got 20 points on that one. So I'm looking at the teams. Once again, I want to go for their highest point values, not just highest point values, but also highest team powers, to kind of give my teammates the best chance. I don't want to take the weakest guys, since my teams are relatively strong. I want to give those to my teammates that have lower, fourth, fifth, sixth flag teams, where I can have my lowest flag teams around a 37-ish, 37 and change, almost 38, depending on who I put out there. So here's a team, for example, it's almost 38. I did roll with this team. Once again, if you look at this, we got 2 yellows, hence I brought my purple team out. I've got my sniper in Lee and Sess, and then Evelyn for my D down in terms of that green. So let's see here what ends up happening. Who knows what I'm saying right now in the video. Once again, I'm thinking that I'm recording myself talking, but I clearly was not. I believe at this point, when I did see that little pop-up message, I did mention, Happy Women's Day to all the ladies out there. So right off the bat, not the greatest board once again. Had some green, had some purple, enough to set up my cage, but then things kind of went downhill after I attacked it. Now in this one here, if I recall, I wasn't really paying full attention, which ends up causing problems. Now that there, I knew that by doing that, I can set up my purple. So I went ahead and did that, and now I end up setting up my green, if I recall. Now, if everybody's looking at this, you're watching me attack Kutchin, and it is the right move, but also what's happening in the corner. So I've got good old Mother North, and she's slowly powering up. So even though I end up taking out Kutchin, now I'd want to take her out. If we look at my team, I've already got enough damage that I already know it's not going to happen. There's no way I'm going to take Mother North out. And now, at this point, I actually started talking about the fact that Mother North is going to go off. So at this point, I'm already thinking that I want to kill one more person and then boogie out of there. At this point, I'm actually talking, and what I'm saying is, I know that Mother North is going to go off. If she goes off, I have to choose between risking the chance that she brings back Kutchin and not. What I decided to do was to take that chance, hold on to my Kutchin, and or hold on to my cage and hope that if she did bring him back, that I would just take him out with my cage before I died. Now, at this point, I just got attacked. Mother Earth is about to go off, and I know that I've got 2 single shots left from June and Marjana in the corner. Or sorry, not Marjana. Can't think of her name is right now. Anyways, I decided to go ahead, kill June, and then boogie on out. So I actually fleed this to keep Mother North from bringing back. So you see him clicking on Mother North there, just to basically point this out. So I end up fleeing this after I hit June. So June was not going to die. I basically boogied out. So I hit June, and unfortunately I ended up missing. So he didn't end up dying. So I got out of there, took the 17 points, and left my teammates an opportunity to clean that up with ease, knowing that June only had 1 shot left on him, and there was no tank up the middle. So there are certain times where you have to just make that move, get out, play smart, and let your teammates do the rest of the work. Now, had I let Mother North go off, maybe she didn't bring Kutchin back, But because of the fact that my June had 0 life left, I knew that after she went off, my guy was going to get knocked out anyways, because both Drake, I believe it was, and why am I not able to think her name? Oh, Missandra, sorry. I knew that they were both about to go off in terms of their hits, and those would have been enough to take me out. So, got to play it smart. So here I am. Once again, I'm looking at what my team would be. I just did a quick autofill just to see what my best players were that were kind of sitting around. I already knew my blues hadn't been used yet. So I decided to actually stay with this team, go blue and red. If we look at the team I'm going against, there is basically no green. So bringing blue is kind of stupid here. Bringing red is just as stupid because there's no... Sorry, bringing blue is okay because I've got the red Zimkitha in the corner. But bringing the red is stupid. There's 0 green on this team. But at this point, I'm taking my chances, and I'm bringing teams that I can potentially... do some damage if I get decent boards. I don't have any purples left, or many purples left, without doing 370 teams. I don't have any yellow left. Right off the bat, not the greatest board, but I'm going to try to maneuver around so that way I can bring in as much as possible. And ideally, I'd rather power up Onatel than anybody else. And people really don't like Onatel. As much as I don't like her, she's not the worst case scenario here. For the simple fact that Onatel, if she does power up, she's not going to hurt me in terms of health. So here I am. I've actually gotten now some decent stuff. I'm going to go ahead and move my red, I believe, next. And also power up my purple. And that guy kind of gets me going a little bit. So once again, Onatel did go off, but once again, nobody else is really going to hurt me yet. Now this is where things start to change. I end up powering up my blues. I go ahead and heal. And then I go ahead and hit the same side that I'm currently on. I already see that those 3 are kind of injured. I'm going to have a blue setup right here, which will then power up my king, which means I could finish this off. So now I go ahead and take out Zimkitha, Zimkitty, and I have that whole side wide open with only a healer and Kiona left. So now I'm in really, really good shape. I went from not being in great shape to being in good shape. And I just continue to attack that one side, and that opens everything up. So now I'm going to start playing the smart game here. I know that Ariel is going to power up soon, and what I'm looking to do here is I either need to get Kiona killed before Ariel goes off, or I need to save up my specials, which is the choice I went with. I decided to hold on my specials to try to go ahead and get some blue. Now, my blue's not coming, so I have a decision to make here. Do I go ahead and try to still take out Kiona? I know that her hit's not really going to do enough damage to me. So I once again decided not to. Purples aren't coming. I've got lots of red. It just didn't work out the way I was hoping to. So what I end up doing here is changing my strategy. I end up going for the red. So watch this. Ariel's still not powered up enough because I haven't hit her. She's just been powering up a little bit at a time. So I go ahead and change the plan. I'm going to do a full attack. Really do some good damage there. Now I'm going to go ahead and power up again because I've got that wide open side. So I've got some fast heroes. So 3 doubled up to 6. They quickly go, and I'm able to finish her off before Ariel goes off. So you're always thinking when you're playing this game, right? Initially, I was hoping to bring up some blue, power everybody up, and then attack. Changed the plan completely. Went ahead and used the knowledge of 6 tiles being needed for my fast heroes. And I knew that I was able to ghost them to get my 6 in one shot. So here we go. Everybody now gets powered up. And obviously Ariel's not going to do anything here. She's kind of far from powering up. And I'm going to go ahead and I think I end up moving my blue around. I probably made the wrong move there. Definitely made the wrong move there, but either way, everybody's powered up and this game is over. Once again, if you look at the team that I went in there with, didn't have their tanks or their flanks covered at all. And even then, my red that I brought in, there was no green heroes out there, right? So sometimes you just got to play it smart. Here we go. And you also need some luck from the boards, once again. So once again, this is, I believe, my last flag. Yes, my last flag, I believe. I can't tell right now because my screen doesn't show me my top half as I'm doing this audio. Yeah, I believe this is my last flag. So, once again, I know that my blue is pretty much all I've got left with red. So I'm looking around, trying to pick a team that I can do some damage with this. Once again, I know that I'm going in kind of SOL. So let's see what ends up happening. I believe I decided to take this team on, which is a very powerful team. My team is going to be roughly 4,000 points. I already know I'm not keeping this team as is. So we're going to use Black Knight. He's going to help try to keep everybody else alive, especially with Gwyn in there. And then I did decide to bring Mickey. Now, a lot of people don't like Mickey offensively. I love Mickey both offensively and for Titans. He's got mana control. A lot of people forget how useful mana control is. So that's his main purpose in this one here. As much as he's there for his boost, he's primarily in it for his mana control. So I really want to get him off and Black Knight off as quick as I can. Now, in this case here, I was debating between Aslar, Khan. They're both really slow. And the issue with what I end up doing here is that I already had some slow people in here. But nonetheless, decided to go for it anyways. And if you notice, my Athena is almost maxed. She's not quite maxed yet, but still, she was one of the better people I've got left. She gives me my blue down. And I believe that's the final team I end up going with right here. So let's see what happens. Once again, I've got Khan, who is slow, not exactly beneficial. Probably should have went with somebody faster, but I decided to go for it. And once again, I was trying to kind of solve that slow issue with Mickey. Now, I could have also moved my my mana troop to Khan, but I really wanted my Black Knight to go off first. And if he can go off, then he can keep Khan from dying. That was at least the game plan. Now, if we look at this, I have a team that's just under 4,000 points TP, and the other team was almost 5. So I'm going in quite under. Now, we look at this right off the bat. It's not the best board, but it's not horrible. I do have, a blue set and a red set I can make, but after that, I am screwed. Now, this kind of helps me out a little bit. I do have a set that I can make, so I go ahead and do that. And, of course, Gwyn powers up very quickly. Unfortunately, I really wanted to see if I can get Khan up quick and early. I would have sent things down the sides instead, ideally, but there just wasn't nothing along the sides. Now that I've done that, my Black Knight has powered up, but if you look at this board, I've got nothing, and it is ugly. My only benefit here is the fact that I know that I can go ahead, set off Black Knight, and protect the rest of my peeps for the next little bit. So that's what I do. And we go ahead and try to do some damage here. So this actually ended up working out okay. I ended up getting blue and red tiles coming up, which now have set me up to power up my team. So once again, he just protected the rest of my team. Got rid of Gwyn. Goodbye, Gwyn. Once again, still not the best board. I am really up against it here. Black Knight saved me once again. And I'm going to go ahead and try to get some blue. Finley's about to go off. It's just not looking good. So I'm really thinking here, what can I do? I've got that minus 44 attack. Finley's about to go off. Ursina's about to go off. It's just damage everywhere. What can I do to save myself the best way? So, of course, attack Finley since he's the one who's about to go off. Repower up my guys by sending up the middle. Ursina goes off. She does some pretty good damage. Kutchin re-heals good old Flynn. Flynn goes off, kills off my Athena. And you would think that this is pretty much game over. And if so, you're pretty much right. Now, I decided to go on this side here just because I've got the mana control. It will kind of keep Kingston from doing any damage. And then I just get lucky with that green. That combo there was just sick. So once again, I was trying to keep Khan in as long as I could. He just ends up saving this game. After that combo, I knock those two a little bit. I know that this one single red will kill off Kingston. Get lucky with another combo. Power up my Alice. And now I'm actually in really, really good shape. Things kind of get scary here for a second. I almost had too many combos there. Almost powered up Finley. Luckily, I didn't. Went ahead, took on those arrows, survived that. Now Finley's about to go off, but I've got enough to finish. There you go. Once again, some of those moves I made were just smart moves, and that's what's necessary to win, aside from the boards. I did get a combo that definitely saved my butt. Aside from that, I ended up going 4 for 6. Not too bad. I was just looking at this point where we stood. We had 18. They had 3. We're only down by about a couple hundred, I recall. Last time I checked before I started doing this audio, we had 15 flags left. We were down by 200. The other team had 0 flags left. So even though it's not going to show in this video, we did end up winning. I haven't actually looked at it to say that for certain, but I'm pretty certain that we end up winning this game. So until next time, or next week, have yourselves a good war. Later.